Hopefully you think it's pretty cool. We think it's pretty cool. So 2025 baling is going to be a little more interesting this year. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simentals. This is Chris. It is Monday afternoon, a little bit of a later start, but I will show you the reason for that in a couple minutes. It's pretty cool. Hopefully you think it's pretty cool. We think it's pretty cool. All right, just need to get one cow out of the short chute and we can get the rest of our feeding done. So let's grab her. But feeding's pretty normal tonight. 2 bales for the cows. Definitely got to take a good look at our heifers because we're getting down to crunch time here, and I do know a couple of them are getting kind of close. It looks like they were able to spread out their stock bales from last night. Not too bad. Just gave them one, a little frozen. Not too happy about it, but we'll see how a couple more of them turn out and go from there. All right, let's start perusing the crowd. Trust me, yesterday this looked 10 times worse, but they spread this out, but they went through their bale pretty quick, which we knew they would. Just scoping everybody out. Like this girl here, she's starting to get a little bit swollen in her back end, but her bag's not super swollen up yet. So it's like one starts happening, but the other one doesn't. You always got to look at kind of both of them, because sometimes that thing can go from 0 to 60 in about one day. So then here's another one. Her bag's still coming along. Let's see, where's our little girl? Our little JL 931 is the one I really want to look at. For some reason, old snobby AC 431 is like halfway mellow this year. I think she's just trying to warm me up for when she has a calf, so that I don't take her serious when she calves, and then she just pummels me. She's another one she's a little snotty at calving time, so we keep an eye on her. But really good mom, and like this time of year, Deja's the same all the time. You can get kind of close, but then she walks away. And she's a little annoyed at calving time, but she's not horrible. Not horrible. All right, this little girl right here is the one I want to look at. Yeah, kind of about the same as that other one that we looked at. Bag's coming along, but back end's a little puffy. All right, back at it. Yeah, that FL 913, she is our eagle daughter. This girl right here, super nice heifer, at least I think so. I mean, I love her size, her length, her build. She is coming along really, really nice. I wish her mom was right here because she's a true justice. So she's an eagle out of a true justice, and she is packing. I think we just gave her bold ruler. Let me consult the spreadsheet, shall we? Yep, bold ruler. So she's got a bold ruler, so I am not worried about her at all. Okay, and then that one we looked at, yeah, you can tell she's starting to get a little bit puffy in the back end. You know, a month ago she wasn't like that at all. But I am really excited to see this be the first eagle daughter that we've had. So I mean, I know eagle can produce some darn nice bulls. We got one this year, and we've had a couple other ones. Actually, a guy, well, 45 minutes from us, bought a really nice eagle bull. Actually, a full sib to this heifer that I was just talking about. A full sib to that heifer, and he loved that bull. That guy was really moderately framed. but he was long and thick and wide. We saw that guy like 2 years later, I think last fall or something, at a sale, and we saw him, and he just said, yeah, that guy is really nice, really nice. He kind of kicked himself a little bit last year at the bull sale because we saw him there too. We had that pretty darn nice State of War bull, and it went like a couple $100 more than he wanted. It went a couple $100 more than he wanted to bid, and he didn't bid, and he was kicking himself like 20 minutes later. We are definitely running behind, so hopefully I can show you what I wanted to show you. Tomorrow night we're gonna have to weed out 2 of these guys, and most likely this guy, and not sure which the other one's gonna be yet. So one downside to this blue water, the little blue, is we start getting like a big ice patch that kind of builds up. Now, for a cow, they'd be standing here. They really don't stand there. But as they drink and pull their head back, then the drool just kind of runs off their face and onto the ground, and that starts building up. Or once or twice a winter, I gotta chip that out and make it a little more tolerable. Plus it builds up and it's hard to open and close that gate too. But this week might knock that down a little bit. Sometimes throw a little bit of rock salt on it and it kind of starts burning down, but hasn't been too bad this year. All right, so it's a little dark out here, but do the best I can. So we've been talking about it. If you guys have been following the channel, you kind of know we had some struggles with the old RBX 451, which is back up and operational. It's fine. It's for sale. And it's for sale because today we picked up its replacement. So 2025 baling is going to be a little more interesting this year. So this is the new to us New Holland RB450. It is just a plain Jane round baler 450, just a plain Jane 450. And sorry for it being dark. We ran behind schedule, and then our neighbor who we sell beef to and stuff like that, he saw it and he was chatting with us too. But so there'll be more on this, but this is a 2021. It is used. It's got like 7,800 bales on it. So just some real brief overview. It is not a silage special. Like I said, it's just a plain RB450. And I know we said we wanted a silage special for maybe being a little bit heavier duty for drive lines and stuff like that, or just some of the features for, you know, heavier material. But 95% of what we do, 99% of the stuff we do is going to be dry. And even if you would say you'd want it for stalks, we do like 100 bales of stalks a year, and that's it. You know, that maybe 150 if it's a really good year, but everything else is dry hay for us. So this came up, and there's a whole nother story behind it, and maybe someday I'll tell it. But this came up at our dealer. It's literally as the crow flies that way, like 3 miles. It's that way 3 miles. And they've been a pretty good New Holland dealer for us, and that's where we got the chopper from. So we got it from the Wausau store, so it's Swiderski equipment. If you're in Wisconsin, you know who they are. There's a salesman there that we have known. Dad's known him forever. Very, very long time. And he treated us pretty well on this guy and the chopper too. But just a real brief overview. This isn't the super wide pickup that they have out there, but this is still probably a foot wider than the one we have. We do get the roller wind guard, so that's an upgrade. That is not roto cut, but that is just their roto feed system. It's similar to, we have some tines that do this, some bigger tines that do this to pick up the hay and stuff it in there. I think it's just literally, it's called their stuffer, but this is kind of the newer version of it, but much bigger auger. This is actually the same auger that is on a silage special, so it's the same size and stuff like that, so that's nice. This is a net wrap only, so you know, we don't have the capability for twine, but we have been talking about it, and we do want to just say screw it, and we want to go net wrap and get the time savings. Yes, it's going to be an increase in cost for the net, but we look at it as increased baling speed, or decreasing our time in the field baling, and this guy is gonna be able to bale a lot faster than our other baler. So there's that. There's the time wrapping versus twine, so you got your savings there, and then the increase in quality for storing, since we do store outside. Even if we got like 3 to 5% increase in quality of hay from the time you bale it to the time you feed it, you know, over the course of 400 bales, well, you know, that's a few bales. That's a few extra bales. But this guy is pretty darn clean, pretty well taken care of. They ran it, and honestly, it ran butter smooth. And for 7,800 bales on it, these are still the continuous belts, and they're still in decent shape. So we'll still get a few years out of these. There is a couple little spots on those belts where it's starting to fray, and there's a couple nicks out of them. But like I said, they're, for the amount of bales, it's still in really decent shape, and still the original belts. So you can tell that it hasn't, if it's done stocks, it hasn't done a lot of stocks, because honestly, there was a baler south of us at a different Swiderski store that we were looking at that had almost half the bales, and it was on its second set of belts already, and those belts were beaten up. So you can definitely tell that it had its fair share of some heavy use, even for the number of bales. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's hard to see, but it is clean. Whoever had this took pretty darn decent care of it, and Swiderski's and Wausau cleaned this up pretty well. The only thing that, I mean, and obviously all these balers, these RB balers are like this. This is fiberglass. This is not, it is not metal. It did come with the whole wiring harness and everything, owner's manual, all that good stuff. I think the one frill it does have, as far as the monitor goes, I think it is supposed to have a moisture sensor in it, so that might be decent. Our fields aren't really super big, and we kind of can tell when it's getting a little too late to bale anyways, but that might be something that's nice to have. And it does have hydraulic head lift, so that was nice. Apparently, I think what you're supposed to do is set it, and then this is kind of your fine tune, so you lower it to where you want it. You can just lower and raise it, And that guy, when you've lowered it, you know that it's always in that spot where you want it. Without really digging into it, it's just in really nice shape. The only cosmetic thing, right here, there is a ripple, and it's probably really hard to see. They might have either a bale rolled into this right here, or maybe they nicked a corner or something with a dual or something. But even in the sunshine, it's hard to see, but there's a little bit of a ripple right here, and it's not bad. But like I said, when they ran this thing, it was whisper quiet. Our RBX has never run that quiet. Maybe when we picked it up 15 years ago, because that's about when we've had that for about 15 years, and I think it was about 5 years old when we bought it. So yeah, this is a major upgrade for us, but at the same time, this is one of those upgrades that just needed to happen. You know, yes, does it look really neat, bright and shiny? Yeah, it does, and we're going to be paying for it for a few years. We didn't just cut a check for it. So but you know, overall, at the end of the day, the benefit to getting that guy hopefully is less breakdowns, first and foremost. So reliability, you know, switching to netwrap, so less time waiting for a bale to tie, little better quality for keeping over the winter time. You know, yeah, increased cost in net versus the twine, and it kind of would have been nice to have twine, but you know, at the end of the day, it's probably not going to be a big deal. We'll get used to it. And I think overall too, we'll probably end up having a denser bale, and that being a 450, that is a 4x5 bale, so we didn't increase in size or anything. But I would probably say that the last 4 or 5 years, even after we swapped out the belts, that our RBX has not really been running at max capacity as far as density. So this guy probably is going to make right out of the gate, even if we turn that down, which we're not going to run it super heavy, because honestly, we don't need to beat the heck out of it just to pack every ounce into a bale. If it takes us 10 more bales for first crop, we'll make 10 more bales for first crop. And you know, just we want a bale that's going to hold up, going to stay around. You know, is it going to squat a little bit over the winter? Sure. You know, we don't need a rock hard bale. You still want to be able to get the spear in. So yeah, so that was what we looked at a couple weeks ago. We've been waiting a few weeks to be able to pick it up. Didn't help that we had that cold snap in there. But yeah, it's home. It's heavy. It's big. We have to do some little bit of reinforcing on the floor just as a CYA, because it's going to get parked up in the barn where the RBX was last winter. But we want to lay down some planking, and we want to put another post underneath just to shore up that floor. I mean, again, it's an old barn, so we want to be better safe than sorry. Let's put it that way. So yeah, again, sorry it got so dark on us. It took us a little while to get home, and then our neighbor stopped in and wanted to hear the story on the baler, and it's always nice when he stops over, because he used to be, I believe he used to be a service tech for this dealer up here years and years ago. So he kind of knows what we're talking about when we start talking equipment. So it was nice to have him stop over. But yeah, got a little bit late, so you know, you're gonna see a lot more of that baler. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be neat to have that bright red guy being pulled behind the 44. So all right, I got other things to do. Hope you guys liked the video. Hit that thumbs up button. If you got any questions on the new baler, or what we think we're gonna do with it, or if you got any suggestions, actually a question I had for you guys, and I just noticed it now, and let's buzz back over here quick. So I said this is just plain Jane RB450, right? So if anybody knows what this 2 means, what that means, let me know, because I don't know what that means. I literally just noticed that when I was talking to you guys. So I don't know if, because the other ones we were looking at, that's a 21 model. The other one that we were looking at was a 40th edition model. So I think that was the first year they came out with it. So it was a 15 or 16, something like that. So I don't know if that's like if that too just means that it's like a second generation, you know, kind of like a Rev 2, you know, slightly updated version of the RB balers. Maybe it is, and that's cool, because that was kind of the other reason why we really like this. You know, hey, it's been out for a few years. They worked some of the bugs out, and hopefully that works in our favor. So again, if you guys have any questions or you guys know what that number 2 is, leave them in the comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, because I mean, heck, don't you want to see the new baler running? Okay, I mean, there might be a lot of swear words getting that thing going and getting it hooked up, but I think at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of smiles too. And as always, thanks for coming along.